Debbie emailed us at questions@askjoedimatteo.com. I'm going to plug it as many times as I can. You guys, we need as many questions because I love doing these. She said, "Good morning. I love your podcast." Thank you, Debbie. "I was viewing all of your probiotics, having some gut issues, but don't know which probiotic would be good for me. All of your products are great, but I am confused as to which probiotic is good for what condition." All right. Well, let's see if we can help her out.
That is a great question. Yeah. I mean, essentially, first part, you can just very quickly go over what a probiotic is.
Yeah.
I know most people do know that, but it is good bacteria.
Right.
That's first and foremost. I think secondarily, though, it's important to use this term of a microbiome. Our body is literally a microbiome because bacteria, good bacteria, is a microorganism, lives in colonies in our body. So, I mean, that's in the most broad sense what a probiotic is. What do they do? Again, broadly, they improve immune function. They literally interact with intestinal immune cells. They also protect against hostile bacteria to prevent infection, whether it's typically in the gut, but also you've got some good bacteria on the skin, the mouth, the ears, nose, etc. So it can directly eliminate some of the bad bacteria, which is pretty interesting, but it also competitively eliminates them.
Right.
Essentially just kind of overwhelms them via population, resources that they need, etc. Creates a better balance. All right. So again, you've got immune function, you've got protection against hostile bacteria, and then thirdly, improves digestion as well as absorption of food and nutrients.
Okay.
There's more coming out that there is evidence that there's a gut-brain axis, that the gut and brain are communicating.
Yeah.
So that's even now, not just for digestion, we kind of knew that, but more and more for mood swings and things like that. So that's even kind of an emerging probiotic role. So that's the gist of, again, what they are and what they're used for.
And they're just a pill form typically, right?
Yes. Yeah. They're essentially powder. So whether you can technically do some in jar scoops, etc., but it's much better protected when it's encapsulated properly, especially ours are enteric coated.
Okay.
So it really allows for, that's why almost all of ours do not need refrigerated. So
got it. Okay. All right.
So in terms of, which one to use, that does get a little complicated without knowing a little more. And as you just said, digestive issues. So when you're looking at anybody with digestive issues, once you go over some of the symptoms, obviously, then that allows you to give a better recommendation. But what we would recommend broadly is a multi-strain probiotic. Our Probiotic Essentials has 11 different strains. Your body needs more than just one or two. So from a basic standpoint, if you're just saying, hey, I'm having some mild vomiting, some mild diarrhea, etc., I just want to try something, you can do something like that. Other people are a lot more specific. They're having, some chronic issue. They know that they just had, a condition where they were on an antibiotic for a couple weeks, or maybe they have recurring, or maybe, somebody younger has been taking it for acne, et cetera.
Sure.
So, in those cases, you may want to do a little bit of a reset where you could really hit it hard and do something like 225 billion units for 15 days, do 100 CFUs, 100 units for about a month after that. And then you can go down to the regular probiotic. So that's more kind of in a reset standpoint. So again, there are a lot of different ways you can go given the product and given what the issues are.
So it really depends on what your specific issues are, which ones you need. Are there any that, any that we can really quickly go, this one is really targeted for this specific situation? So if that's not you, we're not talking about that.
Definitely, yeah. So if you're having issues maybe with some indigestion or poor digestion of food, we do have a combo with enzymes.
Okay.
So you can look, do that one. So they're together. The enzymes need to be in your gut at the same time.
Got it.
We also have a probiotic, Women's Pro.
Yeah.
The reason for that, these bacteria do congregate in a female's vaginal tract. So we know that it's mildly acidic in that area. So lactobacillus strains are ones that are going to survive there. So it's not going to be a cure for yeast infections or UTIs, but it does help to balance, to reset the flora in the area. and you've oftentimes used an antibiotic if you had a UTI. So it kind of resets the local area there.
Got it.
Then we also have Ultraflora Immune Booster. So that one is for strains that congregate in the nasal and sinus passages.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm kind of going to keep. We have Probiotic Pro Sport for SIBO. That gets complicated. We have talked about SIBO before.
But that's specifically for SIBO.
Specifically for SIBO, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it has IgG, so immunoglobulins, and it has bacillus strains, specifically, for a reason. So then we have also a different kind of twist. It's Saccharomyces boulardii.
Okay.
It has the properties of a bacteria and a probiotic, but it technically has a yeast cell wall. So that is, and it's documented to survive human body temperature, gastric acid, as well as digestive enzymes.
Okay.
And the important thing about all that is because it largely congregates in the colon. So if it can survive the oral use
a long way.
Exactly. It can survive. We know it can survive oral use because it's been looked at through those phases. So that's very useful if you're on an antibiotic. It's not a waste to take a probiotic while you're on an antibiotic, but you kill a lot of it. So a lot of it is going to waste. When you take this, it's going to help congregate in the colon, eliminate some of the digestive issues, diarrhea, et cetera, that you get with antibiotics. So it helps with that. Also, if you have C. diff, obviously a very serious condition, but you can use it for that as well. So that one, again, has a very specific use.
Very cool. Okay. Did we cover all of them?
Yes.
I think
believe so. Yeah. And we changed them. I mean, it's even for me, I'm going through and refreshing because we're adding new ones all the time. We've kept our base one, the 11 strain, Probiotic Essentials the same, but yeah, I mean, we've been adding and changing a lot.
As new data comes out and new information and its manufacturing processes are available to be able to keep these stable and transportable, it makes sense that we would want to update that stuff.
Definitely. And just one other thing.
Yeah.
I do want to mention medications. If you are having gut issues that are potentially affecting gut flora, obviously we touched on antibiotics, but that's, has to be said. Oral contraceptives. Also, if you are on one, be something to be very aware of that it can cause issues with your gut flora. Essentially, to get too technical, but beta-glucuronidase is produced in the gut and can recycle estrogens. So if you have an imbalance of bad bacteria and you're secreting a lot of that beta-glucuronidase, then you could end up recycling your estrogen. So you take it in, take your pill, the liver starts the process of breaking it down, goes to the intestines for elimination, but then it gets turned back on and recycled by beta-glucuronidase. So that's been documented that Lactobacillus acidophilus can help to decrease the activity of beta-glucuronidase. So there's, again, some real specific things that if you unpack with somebody, you can get a lot of use out of. So PPIs as well, used for GERD very commonly. That can definitely affect gut flora, and heavy alcohol use as well.
Of course,
it's a physical thing, having alcohol in your gut.
Yep, makes sense. That makes sense. Debbie, I hope that was helpful. If not, you can always call the office or email us directly, and we'll get you squared away there. But lots of great options, and hopefully that helped.